Hi guys, welcome back to Kit Car Direct and MK Sportscars, and this time it's about polishing. If, like me, polishing your car and keeping your car clean is a bit of a thankless task and you need some help with deciding which polish to use, we might just have the solution. So I'm going to start this by demonstrating that this particular bit of GRP doesn't have any polish on it. This week we're going to be using Pride and Joy, which is apparently suitable for GRP and gel coat surfaces. So that's why we're going to try it on this particular car. First things first, let's put the gloves on. I'm going to be using a microfiber cloth to apply the polish directly to the GRP. Once it's applied, I'm going to buff it in. When it turns white, I'm going to leave it for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then I'm going to buff it off with another microfiber cloth. So I've left it long enough now to make and drink a cup of tea. I've got a brand new clean cloth and we're going to buff it off. This particular product is very, very easy to buff off. There's no real elbow grease and it's coming off quite handsomely. Hopefully you can catch what we've done and what we're going to do in the picture. What we've done, what we're going to do. Quick tester, if it does work or hasn't worked, feel the bodywork before and feel the bodywork after, and you can actually feel like a resin coat or I think it's a PPE, don't know, some expert out there might be able to tell me, but it certainly feels like it's got a something on it. So let's give it the ultimate test. Let's put a drop of water on it. I'm hoping that this is going to bubble up, gobule up, or whatever you want to call it, and it's going to show that there's a particular film on the top. And there you go. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. This is telling me that it's got a resin or a coat on it over the top, and the water will just flow off of it if it ever does get wet. It's so shiny, you can see my face in it. So this week we've used the Pride and Joy car polish. If you guys have got a go-to product, put it in the comments below, let me know. We'll give it a go and see how it compares. But I think the star rating, this is a pretty good product. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. So last week we did the Pride and Joy, and this week it's MCU Tech Wax 2.0. This particular product isn't specifically for GRP, so we're trying all different products. And again, if you've got a go-to product that you like, make sure you put it in the comments below. But for now, we're going to see what the Tech Wax 2.0 next generation gives us on the finish. I've now applied Tech Wax 2.0 generation next to the panel. I've applied it in a swirly motion, as you can see. I'm going to leave this to dry now for about 10 minutes. That should be just enough time for me to make and drink a cup of tea. We're back from our cup of tea, and as you can see, this has dried very, very white, which is a good sign. That means we're ready to polish it off. So I've got a microfiber cloth that's never been used before. And I'm just going to give it the once over. For the purposes of the film, we're going to do the water bead test again on the nice, freshly waxed car. Wow. Now that seems to bead up a lot more than what the one last week did.
That's so much better.
If this was easier to rub off, then I would go with a 5 on this, because it's very, very good. You can really feel, if you put your fingers in it, I can feel the fingerprints. I see the fingerprints, but it is very good. We've had a special delivery this week. There's 3 wise men turned up. One bought some gold, one bought some frankincense, and the other bought some myrrh. First things first, let's put the gloves on. So we've got our bottle of myrrh, and we're going to apply this again to the fiberglass. This does not come with an application pad. So you're going to need to use a super clean, and we found a clean one, microfiber cloth. We've given the panel a wipe. The panel's been washed and we've given it a wipe over. We're now going to apply the Myrrh, which is car polish. We are trying car polish on GRP, not just a specific GRP polish. So we're going to try this car polish on there and see what happens. Put it on, it's going to dry white, and then we're going to buff it off and we'll see how difficult it is to buff off. As we systematically clean this car, I've just noticed there's so much wax on it that the lid is falling off. We've applied the Myrrh straight onto the panel. We just got to wait for 10 minutes or so, which is enough time for me to go make it and drink a cup of tea. Well, there was our 10 minutes. Nice cup of tea I had there. So I've got a clean microfiber cloth. That side's clean. That's the one that we're going to buff it off with. It's dried white. The Myrrh is dried white. So we'll just give it a rub off and see what happens. First impressions are that it doesn't actually buff off that easy. This is, I would say, this is probably harder to buff off than the Tech Wax 2.0 that we used last week. It's leaving a lot of residue on the cloth as well, I've noticed. All of these products do seem to make the colours pop. A lot of this is more about what do we think is the best product and what is easy to apply and remove off of the panel. Water test time. So let's do the before. Already I can feel that this has not got any sort of film or covering or like anything like that on it. I'm gonna just, well, that looks like it does have a covering on it, and that sort of fails everything, but stop laughing behind the camera. Now for the after. As you can see, the one with the coating on it, the Myrrh coating, has not bubbled up at all. I'll do it at the back here and hopefully this is not going to bubble up. That's a puddle in there. So it hasn't bubbled up at all, unlike the other one which has got a big bubble sitting on top. Star rating time. This particular product that we've got didn't come with a buffing cloth. It is quite difficult to buff off as well. It is quite, you know, needing a bit of elbow grease. So I think we're going to go for 3 stars with this one. Not as good as the Tech Wax 2.0 or the other product that we used, which was called Pride and Joy. Forgot about that. Anyway, it's okay, but it's not as good as it could be. Cheers. Based on a referral from one of you guys out there, we're going to be testing premium marine polish. First things first, let's put the gloves on. One of you guys sent me some comments that said, this made my car pop. So let's give it a go. I did want to say something. With the Tech Wax 2.0, and I know I'm jumping about here, but if you get this buffing cloth, you rotate this 360 degrees in the pot. Apparently that is enough to do a complete saloon car. Now I was putting on about 3 times that on the bonnet. So yeah, I've gone a little bit overboard. Anyway, back to the marine polish. My trusty assistant has just noticed while we're on our way to fetch our cup of tea that last week we did the front wheel arches. And what you can see is where we tipped the water on and left it, the one that we didn't put the wax on got a lot of water droplets on it all the way over it. The one we did put the wax on has not. It's been about 10 minutes. I've made and I've drunk a cup of tea, so it's time to buff this off. Got myself a clean cloth. This is a clean one this time. We'll give it a buff off, see how it comes off. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's going to come off quite easy. Let's give it a go, I'm excited. That comes off super easy when you don't load it right up like I normally do. That makes it pop. Now the moment of truth. It's the water test time. That just falls off of there. Absolutely falls off of there. Well, I'm super impressed with this. It's really easy to polish off. Is that because I've put an appropriate amount on or like gone light on it? I don't know, but it's super easy to polish off. It makes the car pop. It's a 5-star for me. 5 stars. Now on to the overall rankings. In 4th place is Pride and Joy. In 3rd place is Meguiar's Tech Wax 2.0. In 2nd place is Myrrh. And in 1st place, the overall best polish for your GRP bodywork is Premium Marine Polish.